crustaceans like no one can. With Ernie and Sparky on Memora Bay, they catch lobsters every day. Dan, the lobster man, catches crustaceans like no one can. Sailing out of Portland, Maine, setting traps in Casco Bay. Dan, the lobster man.
Back there, because it's going to splatter a little bit. See it splatter? Yep. Thank you. You're wetter than that. As the boat right in the middle, and it shows all the islands around, like Pete's Island's right here. This is part of Long Island right here, and here we are going out through right now into the outer sound, our depth sounder right here, and it tells you how deep the bottom is, how deep the water is, and also if it's muddy bottom or hard bottom, and it really depends on where I want to set my traps. If I want to set them in mud or on gravelly bottom or hard bottom. All this, the roads in between that we're traveling right now, they call this area the road, which goes between the north side of Peaks Island and the south side of Diamond Islands.
Yep, that stuffed bait bags.
Traps on a stringer, we call it. We have, like, most of them are 6s, some of them are 9s. We have a couple around the neck. Sneaking out, Jess, right there. Sneaking out the vent. These vents are put here so the little ones can get out like this. See, we know he's too small. We know this one's too small. See that? The measure, and you put it right in the eye socket right here, and if the back of the measure stands up onto the back of the lobster, it's a good lobster. However, if the back of this measure goes over it, it's too small. That's what we call, that's a keeper right there. Then we check and see if it's a male or a female. If it's a female, it can't have any eggs or a notch in this flipper right here. Otherwise, it'll have to throw it back. But that's a good lobster.
Around the neck and head.
Jess. Trap right here that we're just hauling a 3-night set. We got the old bait from a herring in here in the bag, 3 days old, and some other bait that's still in the line. And the lobsters and the crab crawled right in the front head into what we call the kitchen, where the food is. And we got some crabs left over here. The lobsters crawled up the back head into the parlor, and let's see how many we have. That's a good one. We'll take him home. And the other one in here is too small, so this one's going to need to shed a couple more times probably to be legal size. That's going to take 2 more years to get the legal size probably. But we'll give him free food for another 2 years, and we'll probably catch him a couple more times before we can bring him home. The seeds in it, female with the eggs. And we're gonna put a little notch right in this flipper right here, and that means no one, once she gets rid of those eggs, no one can ever catch her again and keep her because they know it's a good breeding female. So we're gonna let this one have freedom the rest of her life and make a lot of babies. Everyone's got their colors, and then you have to have your license number from the state of Maine. My license number is 5686. You have to have that somewhere on your buoy for it to be legal.
Showed you on the measure. It has to be at least that long. And I showed you on that last lobster. That's the maximum size it can be. If it's bigger than that, you can't take it either. That's the maximum measure right there. So the real big, strong lobsters.
Good breeders.
They're good breeders, yeah. If they're males especially, you know, they survive that long. They're really strong and tough, and you want them to, you know, fertilize your eggs, right. Keep it strong and stock. So that bounces right there as I squeeze it.
Oh yeah.
On this side as well. All their joints pop out. You can only do that with a soft shell. Now this is the hard shell. That's the test. You squeeze it, it won't go anywhere. Inside, you check it. That's how you tell the difference.
After a while, the traps get dirty in the water, like flowers will grow on them. And to clean them off, you either have to dip them in a solution of, you know, a lot of salt. You dump, you know, bags and bags of salt into a container, and you put some salt water in there also. And it's just such a high concentration of salt it kills the flowers. So you have to, which, you know, makes the fish a little better when they don't have all that growth on them. And other guys prefer to just dry them out overnight on the boat. That also kills them. I try to do that, but you can't take that many on your boat. You can only stack a certain amount. So it's important to keep the traps as clean as possible, and that's what guys try to do. See the flowers that I was talking about earlier? And they don't have that red color to them. It's actually dead. We tried this overnight on the boat. The flowers are actually all dead here, and it cleans the trap right off, so it fishes a lot better. Not this time, not catching anything, but it will.
Thanks, Dave. I'll make a phone call before I do anything. Thank you.
He brings them uptown, and the guy meets them with a big trailer truck. They process them, and there's a huge. They got processed plants in Canada or in Massachusetts, I think.
Lobsterman catches crustaceans like no one can. With Ernie and Sparky on Memora Bay, they catch lobsters every day. Dan, the Lobsterman catches crustaceans like no one can. Sailing out of Portland, Maine, setting traps in Casco Bay. Dan, the Lobsterman